And hello and welcome to the Gers TV. My name is Si Leslie.
I'm Vivian.
No, I'm Lewis in the corner.
We've got Lewis in the corner and Gordon will be joining us in a few minutes' time. He's lost in Denison. Guys, there we
Talk
go.
of the devil.
As I said that, he'll be here any second now. Just give a couple of seconds. Guys, if you could just like and share, that would be great and help us out here with the like and shares. That's my last share I've got today for my page. So folks, there'll be loads and loads to talk about tonight. Obviously there's a preview of the Rangers versus Motherwell game. The Motherwell versus Rangers game at the weekend. We'll be talking about the Rangers versus Hibs game and the Rangers versus Raith Rovers all last week. As well as that, there's loads and loads of other subjects to talk about. The ongoing Alfredo Morelos situation, where a lot of fans are kind of thinking it's time for me to go. Do you think that's different, or do you want me to try and stay? Do you think it's already been decided? And you've also got the scenario of the Ryan Jack, who's been called up for the Scotland squad. I've spoken about it so many times, and I've made my opinion clear that I don't think that Ryan Jack should be playing for Scotland when he comes back injured. I don't think it's a good idea anymore. But that's some of the subjects we'll be talking about tonight. Guys, you can let us know your opinions on it as well. We've got a few comments coming in just now. We'll start with them first and go to the top of the page.
Can we check the sound? We've had a few comments about the sound.
The volume's too low.
Oops.
Hi. Welcome to the
So,
TV.
just to start off, guys, evening guys and gals, David Stewart. We've got Mark Aiken. Hello, how are you? Keeping up to date on the games for this evening night. Good man. Who's playing tonight? Let us know, Mark. If it'll be European football, is it?
Oh, who's playing at the weekend, Mark?
Hello from Toronto, Neil Reid. Sponsor 3311, is it? Don't know what that means. Sounds very low. I've got the volume up a wee bit now. Also the draw, we'll be talking about the draw as well.
Yeah.
Folks, thanks for keeping us on my toes, Mark. Totally agree with you on Ryan Jack. So the people are commenting already, but we need more people watching so we can get some shares in, guys. As many shares as we can get. We'll get ready to start. How are you guys? How's your weekend?
I'm trying to, I need a minute to get my breath back. Not as bit as I used to be.
Well, Beyond started Sons of Struth football training.
Aye. How was that?
Got his arse handed to him.
Ah,
But
it's his first game,
it's
isn't
his
it?
first time training, so
Not that you've been hard on him then.
no, do you know, it's funny, like I actually figured out like why parents are the way they are at football, because I kept going, I was pure gripping my hands wanting to just
Did he walk in with his Versace suit and leave with his pre-mark?
So what was the deal? Was it training? You
yeah,
went there or
just
what?
training over at the Palace of Art. So yeah, he's so keen. So I'm looking forward to him progressing.
Was that a trial he was doing, or is that just him straight in?
Just training, aye. He's not in a team or anything.
That's what I'm saying, but he gets straight into the training and you don't need to...
Yeah, so I was good.
Proud of him.
Okay, well there'll be update on the Sons of Struth in a couple of weeks with Craig Houston and that in a few weeks time as well, because we've not been doing the Sons of Struth updates for a while. It's a great football academy that support the Gers TV and we'd like to support them. And you can give us a wee update anytime you go to training in.
Yeah, they're a fantastic organisation, so well done.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so excited for him. I'm really happy. He's in. What about you? What did you get up to?
A 2,000 word assignment. Not on Rangers, so how much it was. I was actually on a 2,000 word assignment on the medical department at Rangers.
There's been so much talk about it. There's been so much this week, but
Only got about 1% of it done. No, it was all good. I had a very, very quiet weekend. Obviously, apart from the football on Sunday, had to do an assignment for something, so got that handed in just before midnight on Sunday, so it was all good.
I've seen your submitted text. It was
So
like
then-
11:30 or
I
something.
know, brutal, honestly. See having a job and all, I mean a full-time student again, it's murder, but it's good, it's very, very interesting, very satisfying. So
you'll be coining it in soon, man. You can't complain. So guys, let us know you can hear us alright, because there was a wee sound issue a minute ago. It should be repaired now. It was just the volume was down a wee bit low. Before we talk about the football side of things, a couple of things I want to give a wee plug to. First of all, Lewis, you want to put on the screen the fair, the football fair.
Yeah.
There's a football fair for people that collect all sorts of football memorabilia, and it takes place. I've got the details here, 'cause I've not got the Gregory Peck, so give me a second here. It's at the Bellehouston Park, and it's is it 10 o'clock to 2? I can't see the screen there.
Yeah, 10 o'clock to
10
2.
o'clock to 2. There's on Sunday. There's four Rangers stalls there with Rangers memorabilia, and it's free for anybody to get in. So if you collect it, you just want to go and do your nosy, or you're interested in Scottish football, or you're interested in the greatest football club in the world, the famous Glasgow Rangers, get yourselves along to the Bellehouston Bowling Club. It's all free, and it's a football fair, the collectors fair. That's the flyer up there, and we'll put it on my page later on.
Free?
It's all free. I think.
Get in, or?
I think the guys sell. I think how it works is if you buy like programmes or stuff, you buy it off them,
Yeah.
and it's all a lot of stuff's worth a lot of money. And it's not just Scottish football. I think it's predominantly Scottish football, but I think they've got like English football and stuff like that. But we're going to get the organisers on in a couple of weeks' time as well to tell us more about it. But that's the deal. If you want to go along, yeah, Bellehouston Park, 10 till 2, all free. Everybody likes a freebie. We've got that. I'll quickly do a plug as well for Saturday afternoon. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, I'll be in Oswald's Bar for the Motherwell versus Rangers game with Gordon Smith. We're just doing a wee new project that Oswald's want to try out. It's a pie, a print and a bet. It's basically just a wee bit of commentary before, during and after the game. And anybody that's in the city centre looking for a bar to watch the game in, it's free entry. And there is a deal taking place as well where you get a bet on, you get a pie, and you get a pint for a £5, I think it is. It's something like that. But you'll get more details on the Oswald's website as well as our website. And if you're coming along, you'll not go to the game, I'll see you there. Right, that's all the plugs done. Who wants to talk about the Hibs game? See the Hibs game or the Rovers, I'll talk about the Hibs game.
We should go for Hibs.
Taylor 2 games really.
I was wondering who we were going to be at the start. I just stopped and think there for a minute. Obviously, Hibs away
Quite a
last
lot
week.
of football on tonight. Have we got Man City?
Aye, by the looks of it, we've got Porto versus Inter Milan,
Man City and Leipzig.
Man City, Leipzig.
Everyone's least favourite German team these days, FC Leipzig.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Racing Bull.
A lot of people
Red
don't like
Bull,
it because of the Red Bull deal in it.
Aye.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know this sounds good, David.
Good man. So Rangers versus Hibs, I'll probably have a different opinion from most other people on here.
Perish the thought.
Well, it's all about everybody having opinions on things. First of all, I thought it was a great performance from Rangers. However, there's a few things that upset me and annoyed me. First of all, Rangers lost the first goal in the first 5 minutes of the game again. Silly defending from a free kick. We can't defend set pieces. Ball goes into the box. As soon as he goes into our box, our defence flap and we lose the goal. But fair play, we did recover from it, and it was a fantastic performance from Rangers. All round great performance. I thought everybody in the park played well, and we looked fantastic. However, after 62 minutes, we took our foot off the pedal. A lot of people quite happy with that because we gave other players, we brought 5 subs on, and we basically gave players a chance. My opinion on it is if Rangers were playing at Ibrox against Hibs and they were 4-1 up in 62 minutes, they would go and try and score 5, 6, 7, whatever they could, because Rangers could easily have scored another few goals. We badly need a confidence boost just now, and I was really upset and annoyed at the fact that Rangers took the foot off the gas, because we need 90-minute performances. It doesn't matter who we're playing against, and Rangers were more than capable of getting another couple of goals. However, the goals that were scored, great football. I thought Sakala was outstanding, and Kolak has slowly cemented himself as the main Rangers striker. That's my opinion on the game.
Brilliant, there you go.
I'm going to have a drink of juice now.
Yeah, I need one after that.
And maybe a smile at one point.
I know, you're on fire there. I've got 2 words. Ryan Jack. I thought he was absolutely exceptional.
Yeah.
That's more than 2 words.
How'd you work that out, Ryan? Jack?
Ryan Jack, and then continue
Don't
on.
start. No,
tough crowd.
no, just Ryan Jack.
He had a great game.
He had a great game. I thought the midfield played particularly well together. It's like they played as a team and hopefully they're moving in the right direction. There's still a lot of improvements, but moving in the right direction. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's a thing with Edinburgh teams, but we seem to have a great performance, similar to Hearts.
Yeah.
So I think it was, well deserved.
There's a great comment came in for David Stewart there, the whole midfield, I agree with that.
Yes.
Cantwell, Ranskin, I know there's the argument Ranskin,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Ranskin. Cantwell and Ranskin partnership's going to be really outstanding with Rangers. These are 2 young boys who've got a lot they've got a lot of experience. They're going to get better and better all the time, and they've got a lot to offer Rangers. But with the experience of Ryan Jack, the midfield looked balanced.
It did.
Yeah, I thought it was a great performance over the piece. I'm going to disagree with you, Si, a wee bit. I understand what you're saying, but I think that given the fact that we had players that maybe haven't featured for like 2 or 3 months coming back with the injury, coming back to try and get some fitness, I think it was important to give people some game time, and you see why he done it. So I think that the game was over, the game was won. I still think we created some chances in the last 20 minutes.
We
could have scored 5 or 6. But I agree with what you're saying. I totally see where you're coming from on it.
Hibs would 100% hammered us.
I totally get the point. I just think that the game was over, the game was killed, and it was good to bring a few players on that maybe needed one some game time. I actually thought Sakala had a poor, you probably disagree with me here as well, I thought Sakala had a poor play in the first 10-15 minutes, but I thought for the rest of the game when he was playing he was absolutely immense, and he kept at it, and he was absolutely superb for after 10 minutes.
Well,
but overall,
the whole team probably
result.
struggled the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I thought Sakala's final ball in the first 10-15 minutes was slightly off the pace, but fair play to me. I love him to bits in the sense that no matter what happens, he just goes and goes and goes. And after a couple of straight passes in the first 10-15 minutes last Wednesday, he totally won it a game. He's one of the best players, if not the best player. Maybe Ryan Jack only.
Again, back to the point I was trying to make. I've said this quite a lot of times. I think that one of the issues I've got with Michael Beale, because I like him as a person, I like him as a manager, but coming into Rangers, he's been here before. I think he needs to learn that some of these teams don't dislike Rangers, they absolutely despise us as a club, and they would do anything they could to score as many goals against us. They wouldn't give this gifting teams goals because it's sportsmanship and stuff like that. Nobody's going to do that for Rangers back. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us if they're beating us 4-1, and we need to learn to hate these teams and treat them with the same respect or disrespect as they treat us, and finish them off correctly, because that could have been a game where Rangers could have easily scored another 2 or 3 goals, I think.
Yeah, I see, but the point, I think a point to remember is that Michael Beale had a decision to make, and his decision was either going to be go and try and win 5 or 6, 7-1, or bring on a few players that maybe haven't played maybe get some match.
No, I get that. So and there's also the discussion.
That was the decision he had to make.
There's also the discussion that we had. Are we going to? Is that the Rangers side now? See the team that he started with the last few games. We all know he made a mistake at the Old Firm game. Yeah. But I think we've kind of cemented the team now.
I think so. Yeah, and I think now he's got a much better idea, and I think that maybe I would say maybe at the very most 1 or 2 changes depending on who we're playing, but. I think for the most part you're right, Si. I think that's probably going to be the 90% of the team from now on. And
that can only benefit us because one thing we've not had is consistency with a consistent defence, a consistent midfield, and a flow. We've always been changing. A lot of that's been down to I don't want to get the injury scenario again, but here all night. Lewis was trying to pipe in a wee minute ago. Sorry, do you want to give your opinion?
Yeah. I think the midfield that started at the Hibs game was absolutely immense. I mean, I don't know if you saw the clips of Cantwell where he was on the floor and he was still recovering the ball.
Yeah.
Him, Raskin, Jack was immense. Like that midfield should be our starting midfield going forward. I mean, I think a lot has been said of Ross Wilson's recruitment, and rightfully so. But he's got the Raskin and Cantwell recruitment spot on there. They're 2 quality players, and they look to be the future of Rangers.
Yeah.
No, definitely. The boy Raskin he's really grown on me now. When I watch him, his awareness is outstanding. But the 2 guys have really settled into the team. You've now got the question. I think what I was saying there, I think we all agreed that that's probably the Rangers team is going to be for the next couple of weeks, barring injuries or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you've got Tillman still to come back in when he's fit.
I think you might get a wee chop and change between Cantwell and Tillman.
Yeah, man.
I think that sometimes you probably might bring in Kamara for Raskin, whether Kamara's still going to be here or not. But I think for the most part, it's going to be that team. I still think personally Cantwell maybe trying just a tiny bit too hard still. He's still trying to make that impressions because you can tell that he's maybe flying into charges a little bit too rashly, or he's maybe trying one too many flicks or tricks. Still.
It was also interesting to see when Cantwell when he got kicked, or I can't remember what it was, but somebody stopped one on him anyway. But right away, Raskin went there.
I think it was Nesbitt came on and did that in the second half.
Yeah.
It was.
That was good to see.
A good comment for David Herd there.
you want to go back and we'll read a couple of them?
We'll read a couple of them. Just while we're talking about this game before we move on.
Sounds very good.
Whole midfield were class. Yeah, I agree. Mark, he's got concern of the next two
Old
Firm games. Yeah, I think that's on everyone's mind.
That's football, isn't it? I want to win every game though.
I don't know. David heard he's got a good point. He says he doesn't agree with you, Si. We didn't ease off, we just never scored more goals. We created a few good chances, however we were still all over Hibs in the last 25 minutes. Not scoring isn't the same as easing off.
That's the point, but at the same time we brought in 5 subs. Now we didn't need to bring on 5 subs, we definitely didn't.
Five at the one time was a bit excessive.
A big thing for me, first of all, 5 subs killed the game really because Hibs weren't in it. The other point I would make on that is I'd like to see Kolak get 90 minutes, just constantly playing him 90 minutes. You don't have to drop, even when it's Morelos another way about. One plays and then you've got to bring another one on all the time. You don't need to do that. Just give one of the guys the whole 90 minutes.
Unless you're still concerned about Kolak's fitness.
That's sad.
Again, the more games you play, the better.
I mean,
it was
good to see Cholak's back scoring again. I mean, a lot has been said since Bielis came in about whether he still has a place in the squad and whether he'll be here in the summer. But I think he's shown that he can play under Biel, and he's proven that he's shown his form from the start of the season. But I've wanted to see him get the full 90.
I mean, I think that Michael Beale's changed his opinion on the striking situation. I think when he came in, Morelos was who he would prefer his preferred striker, and I think that's reversed now. I think it's Kolak, and that can only mean one thing to me is Alfie's not got a future with Rangers.
I mean, to be fair to Kolak as well, it was an absolutely fantastic finish for the goal.
It was a great finish, a great ball, but a great finish.
Great goal. Two or three really good goals. I guess Hibs as well. So yeah, I understand. I do genuinely understand your point, but I think it was if it was 1-0 and we took our foot off the gas and brought on 5 subs, we ended up getting beat or drawn. Then you'd be absolutely right. But I think at 4-1 with 20 minutes to go, or 25 minutes to go, you've got players coming back for injury. I think he probably, on balance, probably made the right choice just about.
So before we go any further, what's your thoughts on Ryan Jack's being called up again for the Scotland squad? I've got concerns every time he plays for Scotland he comes back injured.
And he's just back.
Well, he can't. It's not just that. He doesn't play 3 games in a row now with Rangers. That's kind of an unwritten rule.
Very, very good point, Si. That he's not. You're absolutely right. I can't remember the last time he started 3 games in a row.
So you're going to say you can't remember the last time I was right?
It's funny you should say that, Si, because I can't actually remember the last time you were right. And no, you are right about 10% of the time.
The point I'm making is I really like Ryan Jack, and I get the fact that just because I don't like international football, for him obviously it's a big accolade. For a lot of people playing for their country, playing international, they want to play, but it's constantly he comes back and there's a niggling injury, and that niggling injury is always 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I feel like we would be wrong personally if we were to block Ryan Jack going and playing for his country, because he does. I watch a lot of the international football and he looks happy. He wants to play for the country, right? It's not like he's unhappy and then he just gets injured. He does actually enjoy.
That sounds about like my life.
Yeah, he does enjoy it, and you can't stop him if he's enjoying it. And it's the risk of if he was playing 3 games in a row for Rangers, like there's always that risk that he'll get injured. So it's just a part of football.
And if we don't let him go, then FIFA can bar him for like a game or 2 with Rangers anyway. So I think
the only way you can stop it is if he retires out of international football. But
I think Lewis is right on that one. I think he's got a personal affiliation with the team. I think he enjoys it personally.
I think so as well. I don't agree with it, but I think that's the point. That he seems to enjoy it.
Scotland, I think Scotland don't know. Obviously, Scotland don't play the same way as Rangers as well. So he has to kind of. I think he probably extends a bit more energy when he's playing for Scotland, which doesn't help him on his return as well. I
don't think he regularly starts for Scotland though, but whereas he regularly starts for us. So.
I don't watch them. I've been in the pub a few times and they've came on. Would they be right in saying he gets booed?
Would
I be? I could be right.
It's not a ridiculous portion of the fans, but there is some fans that go.
Is this for Scotland?
Yeah, for Scotland.
I don't watch the national games.
There's a portion of fans that I assume are Aberdeen or Celtic fans that do boo him.
I actually genuinely don't think it's Celtic fans. I think it's Aberdeen fans.
Is
It's
it?
the Aberdeen fans.
I don't understand. 'Cause
Strange bunch. Do you know what? Actually, just on an aside, right?
No
There's a Facebook group, right? I don't know how I get access to it, how I've seen it, right? But they were just how deluded Aberdeen fans are, right? They were talking about that Lewis Duke, and they were saying that I think he signed for Benfica, and Benfica he went to Aberdeen for free, I believe, but Benfica have got like a 50% sell-on clause.
Yeah.
So Aberdeen fans actually genuinely think he's worth 10 million. And
Right.
I honestly, every single comment was at least 10 million, at least 10 million, at least 10 million.
I think Duke is a good player,
And,
but 10 million is a bit ridiculous considering they only got like 6 million for Calvin Ramsey, who went to Liverpool.
Well, so I don't know if that's a side note, but from Aberdeen fans, so it said that apparently that Lewis Duke was away at a bigger club, and I brought a comment saying I've heard he's going to sign for Darvel. I think I get chucked out the group for that.
The back to what you're saying, right? It's
so
predominantly Aberdeen fans, but
aye.
my point is, why would you want to play for a supporter booing you? But anyway, let's move on. You can let us know your opinion if you think
Comments.
it should
before
be
we go
playing.
down.
Quickly, a few people mentioned Hadji.
Yeah.
Last couple of games, I know he's struggling to get back to full fitness, but I really hope that Hadji can get himself back into that Rangers team.
People don't realise how good he is when he's fully fit. Like he came on and he showed that. I think
He's got a great touch.
his cameo against Hibs was probably the best that he's played since he came back from his injury. He looked bright and he wanted to create. But yeah, it would be good to see him back soon.
Comments, who's going for him?
Hi Donna.
I done it.
Hi David Ainsworth, how you doing?
Why do we never leave one up front when the opposition has corners, as we can use Kent's pace to score? The problem I've got with this, right, I massively hate that, what you're talking about, but I'm not defending it because I scream about it every week. Walter Smith done it, McCoy's done it, Gerrard done it, not all the time, but he done it, and Beale's doing it. I think Alec McLeish probably done it as well. All these managers all seem to think it's a good idea. My attitude would be, if you get one up front, they need to bring two in defence, and that weakens their corner. And I remember the Liverpool team in the 80s, they were talking about them, I think it was Souness, maybe it was on Talk Sport one day, saying they would put two up front because their attack was so good that they didn't need to worry about the defence. So when they put two up front for a corner, defending a corner, the defence would put three in defence. So Liverpool would put another man up and they would put four, and all of a sudden there's no men in the box to score the goal. I don't like it, but I don't see it changing because all the Rangers managers seem to like every man in the box. I don't get it.
I think maybe if I don't know the reasons for it, the exact reasons for it. I think it's certainly a kind of modern day thing as well. But I reckon if we've got pace like Ken, and if we lure all their players forward to no up, I suppose the idea might be we can launch a counter attack, and they've got very few players back defending. But I never understand why we don't. I don't really think that strikers should be defending anyway at the best of times, and I don't know what good Ryan Kent's going to do defending, especially on either the front or back post. So I would certainly leave. I can see Kovac for his height, certainly.
That's a different.
But I would have Kent or Sakala further forward up towards the
put
halfway
Kovac
line
there,
because I can't understand, or I can't fathom what defensive qualities Sakala and Kent would have for defending a corner.
I mean, the way I look at it is, if you've got every man in the box, as soon as you win the ball, you hit the ball, you knock the ball out the box to the opposition, who are going to knock it straight back in.
Plus, defenders run into strikers and all that, and it's all confusing.
There's
It's
no
all
threat.
well.
There's no alternative threat on it. But we don't know the answer because the Rangers managers all seem to like it. But I meant to say, big Connor Golson, I know he scored on a goal last week, but he's played really well in the last couple of weeks.
I think he's forming a really good partnership with Ben Davies, since the cup final has looked really good. So both Golson and Ben Davies have looked quite good.
I mean, the argument might even be that Ben Davies is just finally getting fit, match fit, because he's came in and then they played for a long time. So maybe this is us just going to start to see the most of Ben Davies. But I agree with you, it's certainly making the most of it with Connor Golson, who's attacking a lot more because he can sit, because he knows that he doesn't need to worry about the defence so much, and it gives him opportunities, and his finishes have been good.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but Beale said that he's thinking about trying out a five at the back, playing Sutter, Golson and Davies at the back three, which I wouldn't even be opposed to. I think that's a good idea.
I mean, if they call it a back three or back five, it depends how they look at it, but I think Michael Beale's basically he's came into a team and for the first couple of months he's got to play with what he's got, and he's slowly trying to mould it to his way, and you won't see that until the pre-season when he gets more players in, but you're getting an idea of the type of players he wants and the type of football he's want to play, and it does at times look really attractive. My concern is we don't really have this 90-minute attitude yet. We really need to have that. But that said, there's been a lot of standouts in the last couple of weeks that I've enjoyed it. And you mentioned Ridvan. I think he's going to be the first choice next season.
Yeah.
If he can get a run of games, Ridvan and Suter will probably play far more regularly.
I think.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah, I think the plan is for Ridvan to be that starting left back. I think that he'll probably cement that starting left back spot before even the end of the season. I can see it happening.
Yeah. Sunday in one of my groups was saying the other week about maybe playing him in left back and maybe moving Barisic further forward. Any you think that might be a go on idea or not?
No, I think it'll be one. I get what you're meaning with that, but I think it'll be. Borna Barisic has got a really good cross.
Did Borna Barisic not play as a winger or left midfielder for Ozajek? That team he played a few years ago.
I don't know if he did, but I think we tried that idea with Patterson and Tavernier, and I don't think it worked out well enough for us to actually use it.
We've already got in theory we're talking about it. We've got a really good midfield. I don't think he's going to change that kind of setup of what he's got in midfield. And I think it's a case that whoever's on the better form between Ridvan and Barisic, and I think the boy Ridvan's got a really good opportunity next season. This season's just about getting himself fully fit and into the team. That's my opinion on it. Comments? What are the comments about?
Penalty handball.
I think it's
2-0
2-0 Man City already.
Yeah. Duncan's mentioning the 5 subs things. If you need to try and let everyone get a run, the game is well won.
That's a good point, but I don't think we'd had to bring Morelos on. That was one of the points I was making.
Yeah.
But Kolak's having a good game. He's on a high, but we're trying to get him as many goals as possible, and I kept Kolak on. I would have made 3 subs, I wouldn't have made 5 subs.
It's good though that we have that ability from the bench now to make 5 subs, because I think in like October at the peak of our injury crisis, if we made 5 subs, I'd probably come onto the park at that point.
I was nearly starting.
It really was. It was frightening, and there's it's you're right when you say that. For that point of view, he's trying to give everybody an opportunity as well. But I honestly think he's got his team set now who he's going to play with in the next couple of weeks.
I think so as well.
And for me, for us to have any chance in the up and coming Old Firm games, which I do think we've got a great chance in them, but he needs to have a set team, and it needs to be a team that's playing together every week and getting to know each other. Because one of the faults that they've had this season, and it's no fault with the players, is a lot of the players have been playing and it's a different defence every week.
Yeah.
And it's no settled defence, and if you've not got a settled defence, you're going to get mistakes. That's just human nature. The more you play together, the more you get to know each other. So I think that. So what about you just want to talk about the Rangers versus?
So we'll talk. So we may as well go on and talk about the Raith Rovers game, and that leads us nicely into the cup final.
We'll catch that
semi-final draw.
Yeah.
We'll just read this first. So Matthew Allison Brown is saying, panel, surely Bale will put the strong midfielder against Celtic. Surely 2 more unfit players playing midfield, especially when you get into rattle. I personally think the last 12 games I put, I really think the centre back needs to fully read in Japan to be beaten. Okay, so trying to discern that. I think what you're saying, Matthew, is that we need to play obviously our strongest team, and probably from that I'm thinking you're starting with Raskin and Cantwell. But I think what you're saying as well is we should get in about them and pressure the back line, which I think you're right, because if you are saying that, then you're right, because they are the only time they would want to win any game is when strikers actually stay up and press them and harass them. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I think as well the Old Firm games look to be decided in the midfield. Whichever midfield performs is usually the winner. If we can put a strong midfield and have a good performance in the midfield, then I think we've got a fairly good chance.
Definitely. So the Raith Rovers game was a wee bit not so much an anticlimax after the Hibs game, but it was a cup game, and I think when a cup game, you also have to remember, especially with the Thistle game recently, that the smaller teams they've got nothing to lose, and sometimes they can pull off a shock. So you need to be cautious. I was just glad the Rangers got the win, but I thought the boy Tom Lang that used to play for Rangers, and
he used to play for Rangers, yeah,
and apparently never ever played at Ibrox. So, and he played for Raith Rovers at the weekend. I thought he was outstanding, the boy.
I think if I remember correctly, he went from Rangers to Clyde, and now he's signed for Raith Rovers now. So
He had a great game, I thought. Other than that, it was they were backs against the wall. They put other players in defence. You can't really criticise them for doing that because they probably thought they were going to get hammered after watching the Hibs game. And Ian Murray's basically looking after himself. He's not wanting to come back 5 blocks with flashing.
We always struggle. We've really struggled, especially at home against some of these teams that come in and sit 10 men behind the ball, or 11 men behind the ball for the full game. I'm thinking about the games against Kilmarnock at home and Ross County and a few others as well. We just struggle to break teams down. So I wasn't expecting Rangers to win 4, 5 or 6 now.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, and the game followed the same route I thought it would take, which is quite sad really, but it's just the truth.
We'll talk about the Union Bears story in a minute as well, but there wasn't really much better. But without sounding negative, there wasn't a lot happened in the Raith Rovers game to talk about, was there?
They went down a lot, the players, didn't they? They were saying 7 players went down in the first half at Raith Rovers.
Well,
the referee just kept.
They were absolutely milking it. They were obviously.
There was no flow.
They were obviously wanting to waste as much time as possible.
I think they thought if they could get half time, not in each,
Yeah.
then it's a good result for them, and they're trying to do that. They were just out their depths, I think. However,
You can't blame them. I mean, they're 6th in the championship or whatever, and there's no chance of them getting the playoffs if they wanted. So,
however, the own goal, I thought it was a great ball. The guy, it's one of the balls that a defender's nightmare.
yeah.
I thought, from Rangers' point of view, Rangers done everything right. The boys get no chance. He intercepts the ball and he goes into goal. He had no chance of stopping that.
Yeah.
And their goalkeeper looked about, I meant to say, their goalkeeper looked about 80, didn't he?
Well, he has a bit. Well, he's not 80, but I think is it Jamie McDonald? He's almost over the new side.
He can remember the good old days.
Not many people call you son.
Oh, when I seen him at first, I thought he's going to be like it's a joke or something like that.
No, he's one of these keepers that's been around for absolute years and years and years, and I think he must be at least. I think he's in his early 40s.
Why can goalies stay a lot longer? Is it because they don't move as much?
Well, they don't.
They get injured as much.
I know a lot. They're not running about for 90 minutes. They're kind of maybe moving around intensely 5 or 6 times a game.
I think when this guy Jimmy McDonald just played at the higher level and the lower level, and he's just going down the levels. But actually not a bad game, the guy, but it just looked that old. It just made me laugh a lot. So the Union Bears. Sorry, am I saying
36?
36. So, but
he's only 36.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, you're sitting laughing, you're loving life, sitting slagging him for being old, and then the realisation hit.
He looked like a school janitor.
I'll paper in.
So we'll talk about Union Bears thing. The problem with it, in my opinion, is that you still don't really know the full story.
Yeah, as I said, I don't really know what was.
Rangers. So here's what I took for it, and you can correct me if I get any of this wrong. Rangers are saying that the Union Bears had a banner, which I don't believe this part to be completely true. That was anti-police, and it would have got the club into border and things like that. But that cupboard and that section's for the Union Bears, and they've been using that for about 5 or 6 years now, and that's their property. They didn't consult them when they took the banner out and confiscated it. Nobody's ever seen the banner, so I don't know how you can believe Rangers' statement on that.
I totally agree.
As or not, I think that it's called freedom of expression, freedom of speech anymore. We're not allowed to.
I agree with that as well.
It's like the Gary Lineker thing on BBC. What did the banner say? Does anyone know? No, because unless we know that, then we can't specifically, give. I think a lot of opinion. But I think that if you've seen some of the banners on display at various other grounds,
exactly.
I can't imagine it being much worse or probably a lot better than any of them. I mean,
the problem, you're right, God, because everybody's offended now. That's the big thing.
What about the one against Douglas Ross a few weeks ago? It's obviously he talked about Celtic, but
so that was never moving the post even when it was displayed.
Exactly, and what about
Exactly.
obviously the Queen's death and all that as well? Those banners.
So I think the Union Bears are probably they're probably right in their gripe.
I think they've been right as well.
Unless there's more to that we don't know about, but right now I would say I think the Union Bears are right, but
I think they're right as well. I think it's just got to a crazy stage.
And the board don't seem to like criticism, but you need to remember this board were part of the people that fought against the Spivs, and they were quite happy with the banners going up then. They were quite happy with the banners against other people that ran the club, so they can't get them down. You can't have it two ways. You can't say that it's alright to protest and get a board out,
Exactly.
But when it's us on board, it's
Correct. Either you accept protest and freedom of speech, or you don't. You can't have it. But you can't just accept freedom of speech that you agree with.
Now, one of the banners that I did see that the Union Bears had out display was the Ross Wilson banner,
yeah.
and I think they were right with that. So
So
I don't see it. But the thing is, as well, I don't see it. There's nothing offensive on it. You could turn it around and say Ross Wilson would be offended, but there's nothing offensive on it.
the only problem with that side is that yes, on balance again, shading it you probably are right, but we don't know what Ross Wilson's remit is. So if Ross Wilson's remit is to help us win the league every season and win the cup every season and win the League Cup every season, then he has been a failure. However, if his remit is to have a net profit on the balance sheet after transfers, then he's not been a failure.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what his remit is, so we can't.
That's a good point. I don't think we'll find that out now till the next EGM or whatever. But here's my question: how does this end? Because this has been there's been a few banners about the board for a few months now. The fans are upset with the way the board's distributed tickets and treated the fans in general. The Sydney friendly, there's been a lot of things that people are not happy about. The lack of PR, and the Union Bears are not going to stop what they're doing, and I think they're quite right to keep doing what they're doing.
Definitely.
And Rangers don't seem to want to budge, and Rangers are not going to do this safe standing either. They're not interested in things like that.
Yeah.
So
I think the Union Bears of that was like fantastic, and some of the work they've done has been absolutely superb. But I think that overall, the banner against Ross Wilson, on balance, if you add everything up, probably shades it to be correct. But again, we don't know if I don't know where the exact banner of the police, so we can't really make a fair comment on that. I don't think. But
how does it get resolved? Because I don't see
exactly.
that neither the twain shall meet. Is what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah.
think that Douglas Park, he's kind of a kind of pig-headed kind of guy that is not going to bow down.
yeah,
Right.
unless it's something that favours him.
Unless see if the banner was against Singe,
Yeah.
Douglas Park would add up the park.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
He would have had it in gold-plated frames.
Because
Is it because they're running it like a business? Whereas
well, Douglas Park's a big feud against Singe because it's a rival company to his car business.
I wish he paid so much attention to our PR, let alone his legal battles.
So that's my opinion, that they're going to have to come to a common ground here for the simple reason you can read the feed here, people are saying it. The atmosphere
was dire.
was dire, and you're needing the section of the Rangers supporters that are going to sing, and the young boys were a lot. A thing I didn't like, but I get the fact that people have got opinions on the Union Bears and you don't agree with me or Gordon, Irvine or Lewis or anything like that, or in general Rangers fans don't agree with each other. But a lot of comments I'm seeing about the fact that they're young, and people constantly slating them for being young. But
I know it's doing my head in.
But
Like,
which
I
I don't
think
get.
they've got a good cause.
every
Like,
Rangers supporter was young at one time,
exactly.
and every football club, and especially Rangers, after what we've been through,
We should be encouraging,
we were needing a young support. We needed to keep the support
young,
base going.
energetic. Yeah.
And these young guys,
care about the
that
club.
we keep seeing all these forums and faceless people slating them for being young, and people saying being young is stupid, things like that. Everybody that's young does daft things in life and make mistakes, but these boys went to see Rangers everywhere.
They're the
And-
future, the young folk.
Yeah,
It's-
and
That's
some-
what I'm saying, the future of the club.
they're the future of
Yeah.
our club, and
And-
they're caring about the club.
Yeah, and some of the displays, some of the banners, some of the atmospheres have been
Outstanding.
absolutely outstanding, and hats
Yeah.
off to them.
You,
So
you just need to remember that you need a future. You need to have,
great, aye.
and we should be encouraging young guys go to football. The fact that somebody's young and
Yeah.
shouldn't be something to hit them with, but I've seen things about send them up the road to it's time for their bed and all that, and you're thinking, we don't need the fans. The fans need to unite on this. They need to get together,
Yeah, I agree.
and they need to put a bit of pressure on the board, because if you don't, where does it end? If the board are not happy with one banner, they can do it every week now.
Exactly.
That's a Union Bears point. They're trying to make you think, well, you're going to stop one banner, but you didn't. But see, when Celtic come to Ibrox, he'll bring any banner they want in,
Exactly.
and they'll be allowed to do it. The board will not stop
Well,
them.
look at that. When you look at that, some of the banners, like again, don't like. It's not about what if and what about race it's called now, and they didn't kind of thing. But it comes to a point where you think to yourself, well, they mocked to death of the Queen, and they had that banner against Douglas Ross.
Yeah.
As well, which was very offensive. I mean, you know, that the C word that they've used in that, and when all the children there, etc. as well. I mean, is that not offensive? And so I don't understand why it is literally what different rules at different times. I really don't. So
And this is coming to a big part of our season. We need to try and everything we can to win the Scottish Cup. We need the supporters all behind each other. We don't want the fans bickering. And the thing is, if the fans are bickering and arguing, which is not, I've not seen a lot of it, but I've seen a bit of it, then that takes the pressure away for the board, and that's what these kind of people like.
That's
smoke and mirrors.
Well, that's the whole thing, is it? Divide and conquer. Like, if they've got 4 or 5 organisations all vying against each other, they've got 2 or 3 organisations vying against each other, they've got 2 or 3 podcasts all saying different things or whatever, then they'll actually quite like that.
David Stewart made a good point, and I totally agree with him. The supporters should come out, the Union Bears, and get behind them by not going into the stadium for the first 5 or 10 minutes before the next home game.
See, I think a lot of that, I'm agreeing with David here, but I think a lot of that will depend in the next couple of days, because you'll need to find out what the Union Bears' next move is.
Yeah.
First of all, where is this banner? If this banner that's supposed to be in a banner, was it supposed to be in the polos and a pig on it? Is it? Well, that's the rumour you're hearing, right? But nobody's seen the banner. And I would have thought if Rangers are that adamant that this banner was so offensive, that they would have showed you a photograph of it.
The police are supposed to uphold people's right to protest, people's right to free speech,
exactly.
Freedom of expression. So I don't know how they could possibly remove a banner or not let people. I don't understand.
To say you can't criticise the police is you're getting into a dangerous territory.
That's
I don't understand
authoritarian
system, man.
We've the Union Bears have displayed many anti-police banners before. So what makes this one different? What makes this one so incredible that it has to be taken
me,
away?
What makes it different is they use that as an excuse to attack the Union Bears banners because one of them was against the board, the Ross Wilson.
I think there'll been a couple of banners in the last few weeks which they probably took issue against as well.
And this is our way of getting back in.
This is exactly right. I think you're probably spot on there, Simon.
And whilst this is all happening across the city, they support them, even though they don't support their fan groups, they support them, and they basically encourage what their supporters are doing. Rangers, for some reason, I don't know why, but Rangers in my whole lifetime have the board of all these different boards have never liked the Rangers fans, and I think it's ridiculous. But they need to, whatever happens.
They've got a contempt.
It's if we're better than you, sort of thing. And this board should know better, because this board were part of the fan groups. You know, this is a fact. This isn't it. They're Rangers supporters, without a doubt. This board of Rangers supporters. I will say that, and they were good Rangers supporters before this all came in, and when it all ends, they'll be good Rangers fans when they become fans again. I can't slate them for that. They're big Rangers fans that go everywhere. However, they were part of a regime that fought to get rid of the old board, and one of the manners, one of the methods they done was they supported banners, and I know that for a fact. They supported the banners against the old boards. So if it's good enough for the goose, it's good enough for the gander.
Yeah, well, it's the old phrase, isn't it? Like, power corrupts, and
so the old board,
absolute power corrupts absolutely.
100%. But we need to resolve. That's my worry on it, is how is this going to be resolved?
Yeah.
Who's going to give in? I don't think the Union Bears are going to give in. I'd be disappointed if they gave in, because if they give in, then they basically can't use the storage cupboard again, because that can go open at any time. But apparently, and if that's the case, then they can't. How do they get their banners in it? And even if I don't agree with a banner, I agree with somebody's right to put the banner up.
I think it's probably a little bit of revenge for the trouble before the cup final as well, with the police fans and all that, and what happened at the stadium at Hampden a few weeks ago. I think it's maybe a little bit of revenge for that as well.
Maybe for the policy side, right? But see, at the end of the day, football fans and young guys go to football and fighting has been a part of the game since the early 1900s.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, Simon, I'm just saying that.
It's not going away. It's not going away. So I don't really have a comment on it. Young guys going nuts at each other.
It wasn't really, and to be fair, like, it wasn't really much of a fight. This kind of Celtic fans ran away.
It was just a game of tag. I just think that the board going to war with our number one fan group is never going to end well.
That's what I'm saying. How can it end well? Because
I mean, it's either got to end in a resolution, which I really highly doubt that any side is going to back down.
There's no winners.
The Union Bears' main thing is they're trying to push for a safe standing section, right?
Yeah.
The board don't want that, right? And the board don't obviously want the Union Bears to get any bigger and any more powerful. I can understand why they don't want that, because they don't like criticism. But when you're the chairman of Rangers and you're on the board with Rangers, you need to understand that you're going to be criticised at times. And there's been a lot of things this season where the fans are upset at, and the board have failed. They've failed in so many things. So many big decisions have failed. And as I said last week, there's investors still telling you this Sydney tournament, the friendly with Celtic over Australia, was a good idea. That's how far they're removed from the fan base. Now, we're going to be playing in a Scottish Cup semi-final in a couple of weeks' time, and I can guarantee you now, the majority of tickets won't go to the fans, they'll go to the corporate again. Yeah. That's what this Rangers board are doing to the support, and it needs to stop. They need to start remembering who the core of the support, who the core of the club is, and that's the Rangers support, because when we're on our arse and at our lowest ebb, the fans fill the Ibrox every week.
And I worry, considering we've got 2 Old Firms coming up next month, one of which being probably the biggest of the season in the semi-final, and they're fighting with the fans now, because that can seriously affect our performance. If we don't have a strong supporters group that's going to sing and get behind the team, then how will that affect our on-pitch performance? That's what I
and you wonder, do the board even care about it?
Yeah.
I care about it, you care about it, we all care about it. Do they care? I don't know if they do. Let's catch up with the comments here and then we'll talk about the draw.
There's one I want, is Duncan Cameron, but I messed up saying, have you started the gym yet? And as you can see for the corner of my eye, there's a set of scales in this room.
This is for you to later, by the way.
Which actually gives me the fear, because you're at your heaviest. Are you not at your heaviest at night?
Yes.
I don't know.
Tough shit. I just need a weigh-in.
I don't know the big weigh-in. We can film this live.
I texted Si last night and he's like, I'm going to hunt for my scales, and he's like, then I got another text saying, I think I've binned them.
Are these the scales that start off at 0.5 a stone, yeah? So these are the scales that add half a stone, aye?
No, I don't know, it's in kilo anyway.
See, before I get divorced, right, my ex-wife says to me a million times, one of these days all these parties are going to catch up with you, right? Well, she might be right when I start on these scales. So, I started the gym today. I only went for an hour, and then I done the swimming for half an hour, but I've started. Gordon, what about you?
For what, sorry?
Did you start?
I was reading the comments. Well, I don't know if you explained this at the start of the show, but I was late because I got on I shouldn't say this because I look stupid, but I got on the wrong train, so I go to the gym. I actually go to the gym most days just during the working, extra bit of fresh air, a bit of exercise and stuff like that. So I just do a little bit. I try and do a bit of exercise every day, and I usually walk quite a lot as well.
So
and I
it's
cycle
working
quite
process.
a lot. But looking to start and looking to
I think it's nutrition for both of us. It's going to be the biggest. It'll change everything.
My downfall is nutrition.
80% nutrition, 20% training.
80% nutrition, 20% swelling. I like it.
But to be fair, when I talk about I've just started the gym today. I do a lot of walking, mainly in July. Fair enough, mainly in July. However, I do a lot of walking, and I'm hoping to get that to make that a bit bigger. But let's get back to the topics that we're on.
I'm looking forward, because what I've never really had is a solid weights program to do, like, resistance training. I've always done a lot of cardio. I've never really managed to keep at.
Thing is, this is going to be like Rocky with his old training and all that. You two, you're useless.
No, it's not going to. It's going to be more like still game. That episode when they play 5 sides, we run up Queen's Park stairs, we're all and white and sick. That's going to be us.
Anyway, before we go to we're talking about John a minute. I've got a couple of comments will come in. David here's making a good point that I'll give my opinion on it. The answer is simple: stick to the banners about the team, and the board don't give the club any excuse by having the banners saying all cops are bees. We don't swear on the channel because we get copied. That's the kind of garbage you expect from the Green Brigade, not the Rangers supporters. But back to what David's saying, that my point I was trying to make earlier on is, did the banner say that? Because I've not seen it.
I know.
That's my point. Did the banner? If the banner said that, then I get the two arguments. I get the two sides to the coin. Nobody's seen the banner that I know of. Has anybody seen any
nothing
proof that the banner existed? So what if it didn't exist?
Exactly. There's always kind of the old saying, as the old saying goes, there's kind of no fuel without fire. There's actually no fire without fuel as well. Actually, now you can think about it. But I think David makes. I 100% agree with what David is saying. However, I also agree that there's a right to freedom of protest and freedom of expression as well, and the police are supposed to be there to uphold that and facilitate that rather than stop it. So. I'm not sure. Was it the board or the police that removed the banners?
But that again, that's what I'm saying. There's no clarification of what actually happened. The police are getting the blame yet, but surely somebody would have had the banner would have been displayed by now. Surely.
Yeah. I would think so. That it was the police on behalf of the board. I don't think we saw Ross Wilson going down to the UB and taking it off them.
I don't know the laws on this. Right, Rangers own the stadium, but surely you need a warrant to get into somebody's private property.
If it's on, I mean, it's in Ibrox, though, their locker, isn't it?
Aye, but who? But there's.
It'll be like work. So if you've got a work, say for example, you have a workplace and you've got a locker, then
Yeah.
they'll people will have rights to. So I think the rule is, or the law is, if they've got a reason to go into it, but you don't need to go to like the police and the courts and get a warrant. I don't think, but you know what should have happened really is that somebody from Rangers should have come down and said, look guys, here's the situation. We had a conversation with the police. They've seen the banner. There will be an issue with this. Why don't you replace it or do something else, or why don't you try and protest in another way? We'll help you do that in another way. But there was no communication.
The other option you could add as well, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, is you need to do the banner outside, but you can't do it inside the stadium. That way it's no Rangers' responsibility. But again, need to see the banner, so I don't really.
Yeah. I mean, there was.
I don't know if there is. I don't. I doubt that the Rangers board has been up front with the Rangers support on this occasion.
There was a photo of the UB lined up holding a banner.
Different banner, Ross Wilson one?
Yeah, Ross Wilson one.
Yeah, that was done outside the Grand Ole Opry or something,
Yeah.
or whatever. Brian Newsman had a good point. Feel the board have limited vision to improve us, and they don't have the right model to take us forward. Losing Morelos and Kent for potential no fee is stupid. I could not agree more. Look to sell, improve, and not hold the money. I think that there's, you know, Michael Beale's come out in the last couple of weeks and said that, you know, basically set our expectations to be second to Celtic for the next 5 years by saying we're going to only spend half what they spend, or you know, we need to be lucky effectively to win the league now. I don't believe. I think that setting that expectation is stupid, and the fact is,
Is he calling a bluff? I don't know. I think it was a ridiculous comment.
In the last couple of years, we've brought in more revenue than Celtic have. That's a fact. So I don't even know why that's getting said. But what I would say to that is that I agree with what Brian is saying. Right now, I don't see any vision or any strategy right now at Rangers. It's
all you can hope for is there's stuff happening behind the scenes with it. But I agree as well. I don't see it. I'm not full of confidence with him.
Yeah. Okay, so will we discuss the semi-final draw?
Aye.
When last night, I don't know if this is true or not, right? But somebody that maybe watched the draw can correct me if I'm wrong. So if I am wrong, I apologise in advance, and I could be wrong, right? But Colin Hendry was doing the draw. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
So at half time or at full time, obviously for people that don't know, there's a bit of background about Colin Hendry. Colin Hendry was unfortunately, suffered from alcoholism, I believe, and was a bit of a gambler. And I believe I've been told that the presenter asked Colin Hendry at half time or full time, so Colin, who are you sticking your money on for the cup or something? And I thought, I know you shouldn't laugh at that, but I thought that was such a bad thing to say. But if that didn't happen, please correct me, because I don't want to get live.
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
If that did happen, it would be quite a joyful moment. I don't know if it's scripted or not. But
so they've not told us when they've not decided when the game's going to be, Saturday or the Sunday. I'm hoping it's going to be the Saturday.
Yeah.
For the Sunday made a good point the other day that it better be the Saturday, otherwise the pitch will be an absolute disaster by the Sunday.
I never thought of that. That's another good point.
Two championship teams, man, they're going to go to war on that.
The Falkirk aren't in the championship.
Are they League One?
League One. So this is how bad. this is
the Scottish.
So you've got an Old Firm semi. So you got an Old Firm semi-final, and you've got a championship team against a League Two team in the semi-final. They beat Darvel.
They get their ass.
Just wanted an excuse to bring that up.
Obviously, Darvel beat Aberdeen, and then I believe in the quarter.
To state the bleeding obvious, this is the final before the final. Whoever wins this game wins the Scottish Cup.
Yeah.
That's got to be the case, and I would be very no bookies would give any odds against that happening. Rangers, in my opinion, just need to keep playing the same team and get as much confidence as possible. I've already made my opinion on that. We played for 62 minutes in a big game, and we need to get a run, and we need to be at our very best. And if we're ever at our very best, I still think Rangers can beat them. I don't think the gap's as big as what's been made out. It was a sore one for us, and we took it. We basically took a kick in the nuts. It was really sore for us.
It's not. We should have won. We should have won at Ibrox. The cup semi-final, we didn't show up the first half. Yep. The second half, we were probably on balance the better team. The whole of the second half combined, I thought we were probably the better team, but we gave ourselves too much to do. So I think again, if he sets out his team to defend and not to defend,
if he changes his team,
he's admitting defeat before the ball's kicked.
Yeah, we can't let Celtic dictate the play. We've got to play the. We've seen the 2 games at Edinburgh. We've seen the capability of Rangers, and we need to play to that capability and our strengths. Changing the personnel just because it's an Old Firm game would be a bad move, and we just need to hope as many of our players as fit as possible.
If he brings back, if he goes with players like Lundstrom and Kamara, who have got not a great record against Celtic in the last 18 months, then I'm not
I would
feel a bit the worst. But if he plays players like Raskin and Cantwell and Tillman, or even somebody like Hadji, who's not played against Celtic for a while, coming back fresh and fit, if he's fit in time, I think if we play attacking, right, I think the more attacking we set out in that game, the better chance we've got to win. It's purely because the only time they look vulnerable is when teams stand up to them and attack them.
But one thing we can't do is we can't complain we've not got a strong team, because all our players are more or less back now. That's going to be back. The guys that are out for the end of the season, that's it. Like Lawrence, he's got a strong team, and he's got a strong squad, and he's got plenty of options today. However, it's quite plain that he needs to play Cantwell, Ryan Jack, and Ranskin in that midfield. And that is a midfield I think can win the midfield battle, which can win the match.
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not sure. Just a point on touching on Lundstrom. Like I don't know if you saw the press conference the other week with Raskin. He was talking about the gap between obviously the 9-point gap, and he said there's 2 Old Firm games left. We win them, you never know what happens. And I just think that's a massive contrast in mentality compared to what happened the other week with Lundstrom.
Yeah,
saying our goal was to reach the final.
To maybe get to the final, maybe win the cup. Yeah,
a 22-year-old that is barely played professional football for a string of games comes into this club and has a better mentality than one of our senior players. It's
and you can see him in the park as well. When you watch him in the park, you can see he's still got that belief in him.
I think he's got a winner's mentality, which is
so I'm
what we need more of.
I'm weary of the time, guys. It's been a really good show. Is there anything else we need to chat about?
Aye, the party.
I forgot about the party. Welcome to the party. You say to me, name more parties, name more parties, name more parties. Now I'm at one more party.
We had one drink this year, that'll be my next one.
Blame me again. Right.
My thing.
Party, who wants to talk about it? I'll start us off. We're having a party for the coronation. It's going to be the biggest weekend of the year. Out with the 12th of July.
Yeah.
4 days, everybody's going to be on party mode from the 5th, 6th, 7th weekend of May. It's the coronation of
Bank holiday weekend.
King Charles.
Sure, so was a Scotch.
And we've decided that we're going to have a party in Ibrox Stadium for £25 a ticket. If you buy a table of 10, you get 2 tickets free, and you're going to get a chance to get the tour of the trophy room as well. So you get a wee tour of Ibrox. You're going to have Stevie Abercrombie, one of the best DJs in Scotland. If you've been to the last 2 gigs that we've done at Ibrox, you'll see how good he is, and a fan of the show. As well as that, it's a big party night in Ibrox where you get a hot buffet as well, and you'll get to meet fellow Rangers fans. And whilst you're doing all this, you'll have a view of the park, because it's an Ibrox suite looking onto the park. So if you want to go, there is 40 tickets left. That's my rant, but he's
No, so obviously now we've put on quite a few GRTV events in the last year or 2, and they've all sold out, and they've all been absolutely fantastic, and this is going to be even better. I think it's going to be a little bit more informal than a couple of the
it's just a party night. There's not going to be speeches and
so it's really just obviously like Stevie, a good friend of the show. Stevie's a fantastic DJ. He will have the party tunes in full swing, and as Simon says, it'll be a brilliant buffet, and it'll just be a great night as well. There'll be great
photo opportunities as well, because you're looking on the park and you get a chance to get down to trackside, I think, as well.
This will be my first one, so
and all the guys that work at Rangers on these nights are very helpful and very good as well. So it'll be an absolutely fantastic night. We've only announced it literally 3 or 4 days ago, and I think more than half the tickets have gone already. So that just goes to show how good. And I think it's payday. It's May Day, first weekend in May. So King's Coronation, Bank Holiday weekend, and you've got a few extra days to recover as well because of the Monday Bank Holiday as well. So it's a Friday night side, is that right?
Aye. So I'm just on that. I'm not wanting to get other people's surprises, things like that. But I do know there's going to be a lot of events taking place in Glasgow that weekend, all over Britain. But Scotland won't have a lot because of the local councils will not do anything. And I've said before with the coronation a couple of years ago that rather than complain about it and rather than feel sorry for ourselves, get off your arse and organise something. So we've done that, and some of our friends that run bars and organisations are going to be doing big party weekends, but they'll be doing them on a Saturday and a Sunday. And maybe in the Monday as well, so we're the first ones to come out and put our nailing my colours to the mast. We're having a party and it's on a Friday
Friday night.
for £25, because how do we get tickets? Just message the show.
Message the Facebook page, or we maybe try and get a link up on the website where you can just buy it, you know, straight buy it.
We'll get that as well, just not a chance because I've been away. But basically it's got a big party night. We're the first one to organise anything I've seen for any Rangers kind of pages or anything, and we'd encourage you to get along. Once it's sold out, it's sold out. Can it be another coronation? So that's us, guys. Anything else you want to add to that?
Please come to the show. Mark, Duncan, everyone watching.
And don't worry if you want to come along and you think it's going to be people, crowds of people who know each other and all that. If you want to come along and there's only 2 or 3, we'll put you in a table with similar people. 2 or 3.
Absolutely. And just a couple of things as well from me. What I would say as well, just being a little bit selfish, the Gers TV have got a fantastic Spotify channel as well. So if you're looking for something to do on the way to work, a podcast to listen to, great friend of the show, David Herd, about the last kind of couple episodes up this week as well. Well, we talk about the history. Well, David talks, I listen about the history of Rangers. We've got some fantastic episodes. I think we've got 500 subscribers now as well, which is great. Obviously,
well, that's good.
Couple of thousand people have listened to it, and we've got about 500 people following and subscribing now. So that's brilliant. Thank you for all your support, and we'll still get the 5-star rating as well, which is brilliant. So that's proven a hit, so thank you to David for that. Please go on Spotify, simply type in the Gers TV, and you'll see all the episodes that are absolutely fantastic. We talk about all the way through from 1872 all the way through to the early 90s as well. So
before I forget, do you want to mention the Treats for Troops?
Yes, Treats for Troops. So just a wee quick update. It's I've handed out letters, so I've mainly looked at supermarkets and a few Rangers pubs local in the area as well. So
it finishes on Friday, does it?
This Friday?
Is it? I don't know. I will need to check. Is it this Friday? Is it 2 Friday? Sandra can.
I'll need to actually look into that then.
Or they start collecting on Friday, maybe.
Maybe start collecting because it's still quite early. I mean, what I'll do, I'll make sure I chase it up. But we have, hopefully, fingers crossed, I get an outcome soon and lots of donations.
It's been well done in taking the lead with that one, and
no worries.
we're figuring out all your details, but you're going to be starting your own business up soon now?
Yeah, I'm going to be starting my own online coaching business soon. So
we're the 2 guinea pigs, by the way, Gordon. I know you don't know this
part
of it, right? We're the guinea pigs. If anything goes wrong in it,
I know.
You need to do as you are told.
We're going to be the Barry Bethels, and we're going to be going, there's a sight Leslie, that big. Inside this fat guy was a skinny guy trying to get out, screaming to get out. So
I'm the opposite. I said this skinny guy. That guy went to get out.
I'm going to start my online coaching business, just doing a business plan now, thinking of a graphic and a logo. If anyone's got any ideas of what my business name should be, fire away. I've got a few ideas, so
it's going to be predominantly Glasgow. Predominantly Glasgow.
It will be Glasgow, Cumbernauld, G postcode. We'll go with that.
What we'll do is we'll maybe get some pictures. We obviously do this kind of like obviously everyone does it on their social media before, during, after kind of thing. So maybe get some pictures of the obviously Simon and I this week, maybe looking the way we look, and then obviously some better than ours, and and we'll maybe do some updates on the maybe do some progress on the maybe do some updates on the progress as well. So every couple of weeks
it's a bit of fun as well. I know Phil's trying to do it as a serious business, but you want people to treat it as a bit of fun.
Of course, it should be fun and enjoyable.
When we're at the gym doing our workouts, you can maybe do a like 10-minute live broadcast on the channel and do that for a bit of laugh.
She's got to treadmill when they've done a kebab at the end and
I'll end up eating it. I'm going to die.
I try my vodka on drip.
Once you get your business up, we'll get a wee promotion and things like that. Good luck.
Aye, that'd be great.
And anybody that's interested in what would you call it, fitness? If anybody's interested, get
personal training, online coaching, everything from nutrition to feeling better, changing key habits and behaviours, and just feeling better moving forward.
The phone calls from the Bristol and Oswald's and all that going, get her up, man, we're losing a fortune here.
No, you can still enjoy your weekend.
The local kebab shop.
as Simon says, he'll be at Oswald's bar. I'll probably head along as well, watch the game. So if anyone wants a fantastic pub to watch the game in, and you want to come and say hello to Simon and Gers TV, maybe myself as well, Gordon Smith, please pop in and say hi and support a fantastic hub in the city centre.
Guys, and get in touch with any projects happening in the future. It's been a fantastic night, innit? I've enjoyed it.
It's been great. Lots of good things coming up as well. I'm excited.
Yeah. Excellent, guys. So thank you very much. If anybody wants to help us out, just do a wee like and a share. That'll help us out to get it. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10.
Mark Aitken's right at 7:30 to 12. Yeah. So
Oh,
tell all your friends or family. I thought I said fam. I
He's
thought I
giving
said.
us free promotion here. It's
I
great.
know, love it.
No, it's not. Excellent, guys. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thanks very much for watching, guys, and always remember we
We are the
people.
people.